Hey, you guys, let's get into your energy read. Divine, what is it you want Pisces to know at this time? What is the energy surrounding Pisces? Okay, so we have book. So facts, some to light. Okay, that doesn't even make any sense. Reaching for the details, read a good book, learning, getting needed info. Okay, so there's something here about studying. I feel like this is just the energy that I'm getting. I feel like somebody is getting some details about you, studying, going a little deeper, trying to figure out something concerning you. It gives the energy of like detective investigation and not in a criminal sense. I just feel like somebody in some way is checking up on you. Somebody could be watching you on social media, trying to figure out what's going on with you, what do you have going on in your life currently. Divine, can you give me more information for book? Okay. So we have itchy, meeting an old friend or enemy, advanced in position or a loss, someone speaking of you for the better or worse, discovering a legacy or sorrow, a happy journey, good or bad, money in or out, a joy or disappointment. So I feel like there is someone wanting to speak to you in some sense, wanting to meet up with you. We definitely have meeting an old friend or an enemy. So I do feel like there is this energy of somebody possibly wanting to, I feel like somebody wants to apologize to you. I feel like somebody wants to make up with you, but it seems like somebody is checking to see if you are in this place where this is something you're wanting to do. It feels like it's just one-sided. I don't feel like this is shall we say, an energy that you're interested in. I feel like you've been more so just minding your business, doing your thing, but that doesn't negate the fact that there are people out there who may be coming into some sort of epiphany or realization concerning them. Maybe you've had your tarot moment already. Maybe you've gone through your dark night of the soul already and just continue to progress in a forward moving direction. And something like this isn't even on your mind. I feel like something is preying, on someone. And it could be the decisions that they made towards you, what they were given and what they're not. But somebody is really assessing a situation for its totality. Like they're assessing it as a whole. And I feel like somebody is just realizing that they had no reason to do what they did. They had no reason to treat you in the manner into which they did. And honestly, the things that they were saying were unwarranted and unnecessary. This energy is coming up a lot lately because I feel like people are experiencing the worst sides of this, especially in the climate that we're in right now and the way things are going about in the world. Like people are wanting to resolve issues. People are wanting to, make up, even if they know they were the cause of this. Divine, can I have more information? Yeah. So we now have cup. So sustenance, drink, conversing with friends, holding a cup of love, celebrating. Knowledge, drinking problems, fill your own cup half full. So just once again, there's a dichotomy here. Like I feel like, you could be the friend and they're the enemy. Your cup could be half full, their cup could be half empty. It's all about perspectives and how we're looking at it. But it's obvious that there's two sides to this. There's two sides of the fence, and you seemingly are on the side where you're filling your own cup, where you're minding your own business. I don't feel like this person is experiencing like drinking problems or anything like that. I just feel like whoever this is or whoever they are, they're on the opposite side of this. Once again, I don't think that you were perfect in this situation, but I don't feel like you've done anything nefarious that would land you in a position of somebody, or rather where you are the one who would have to go back and fix the situation. I feel like you called something out for what it was, and I feel like somebody had to own something, and you went about your business. These people in some capacity could be missing you because there just seems to be this energy of reconciliation, people wanting to talk, and it seems like it's over very intimate, over a cup of coffee. I'm even seeing a coffee shop, two individuals sitting at at a table at a coffee shop having a conversation. So I do feel like that could be significance. Coffee could be significance, tea, or somebody just wanting to meet up, to grab something and have a conversation. Yeah, yeah. Somebody made a mistake. And I feel like somebody is in a position where something may not get fixed, and this is something that they would have to deal with. Yeah. Divine, last message for this energy. And we have eyes. Yeah. So it was just like I was saying earlier. So it's not a good card. It blatantly says it. Watching, stalking, gossip, slander, looking deeper, hidden accounts. So there is this energy of keeping an eye on you. Somebody has most certainly been watching you. I do feel like there has been energy of slander, especially towards your character, even if it was false. Maybe some of it was true, but I feel like somebody exaggerated some form of expression. Because you've had conversations with people and they knew what you were going through. I feel like somebody played on this, like they preyed on it, like this is something that somebody reveled in and they delighted in it. But I also feel like somebody exaggerated your truth. So let's say you did tell somebody something. I do feel like somebody exaggerated your truth to somebody else, made it seem like it was a whole lot worse than what it is. I feel like there's also this energy of somebody looking into this, because I feel like you might even end up having a conversation with somebody that's a mutual party, and they may begin to discuss some things that they heard or were told about you. And I feel like you're going to get the opportunity to tell this individual the truth. I don't feel like you're going to be concerned about, shall we say, I'm hearing the word exonerating, so maybe there's some significance in that. You're not going to have to do that, for your name. I feel like something is going to autocorrect, and somebody else is going to be called out on something. So I feel like there is a clearing here. This could be a karmic clearing, or this could just be a clearing of your name, your character, and what was expressed about you previously. By the way it goes, somebody has been looking into something with you, maybe once again looking to see if you're in a place where you want to have a conversation and sit down and talk to this person, or somebody just going to be deep diving to have a conversation with you to get down to the nitty gritty about something. Because I feel like there's somebody who is once again a mutual party, but they're not sure about the details that somebody expressed to them, so they're coming to what would be considered the source. Divine, what other energies are present? Okay, so we have sit. So just rest, ponder, thinking, sad, looking back, reminisce, sitting, and stubbornness. Yeah. So prior to someone reaching out to you, I feel like somebody could have most certainly been sitting with something for a while. And once again, this is just giving an energy of like that Four of Swords energy, Five of Cups type of energy, where somebody could be disappointed in themselves. Because I feel like regardless of what went on in a scenario, you were a good friend, a good partner, a good brother, sister. What I'm also hearing is they didn't deserve this. So somebody is regretting the decision, regretting choices that they've made concerning you. This could be a romantic partner, this could be friends, this could be family, and all other parties in between. But there is an energy of somebody coming to you and having a conversation with you. This could go multiple ways. Somebody having a conversation with you and discussing the details of what was said about you, because somebody is in some form of doubt. And I feel like somebody is in a way considering your feelings here as well. Divine, can you tell me about sit? Okay, so we have camel. So travel, journey, wisdom, endurance, survival, service, self-sufficiency, conservation, as well as stamina. So travel and journey is more significant than anything else. I feel like somebody is going to be traveling to meet you somewhere. So I feel like a sit down in some way is getting ready to happen. So for some of you all, you will not engage with people over dinner because it goes against your customs or your beliefs or something like that. Some of you all will just be sitting down and having a phone conversation. But all in all, there is definitely an energy of somebody wanting to reach out to you. Whether this is something that they will do, I am not absolutely sure. But the energy is there. Somebody is wanting to fix something, because I feel like somebody is going on some form of guilt trip. Like somebody is in real regret, true remorse, for what they've done. I don't know if you're going to be accepting of that. I do feel like you possibly will hear somebody out, especially if you had some form of love for this person. So it's more so about if you had love for this person. If this is just some random flyby and they did what they did, you don't care. But if this is somebody that you shared an insurmountable years with, or you've been around these people for a long time, I do feel like you will be willing to at least sit down and have a conversation. In this conversation, you may not say much. I feel like you would be doing more so of the listening than the talking. Divine, what else is here? Something about reserving your energy here as well. What else is present, Divine? So we have kite. So situation, blowing in, fragile, pretty, tangled, as well as reminders. So I do feel like, there is a situation here, and this situation has taken flight in directions that it didn't have to take flight in. I feel like somebody knew exactly what they were doing, and when they realized that their kite got away from them, this is the point where they had some form of regret. But they didn't have any issue when they seemingly had control of this, but something went a whole lot further than what somebody was expecting it to. I also feel like somebody wasn't expecting you to figure this thing out, or that you weren't going to find out about this situation. What I feel like is, your intuition, played a part in that, because maybe you had an inkling that there was conversation about you behind your back, in any way, shape, form, or fashion. This could be positive or negative, but any form of discussion, behind your back is gossip. So I do feel like a situation got out of hand and somebody didn't know how to reel it back in, is what I'm hearing. So I do feel like somebody in some way is going to try to, navigate this situation in a way where there is some form of apology or some form of expression where they're trying to absolve themselves of the situation. I'm getting an energy for some where they will not be remorseful. It will be all a show. So maybe when somebody's finished, you should give them a round of applause for a good act. Yeah, because it does in some way feel a little staged. And I feel like the only reason why somebody is coming back to apologize is because they're trying to rid themselves of some form of guilt. It's not genuine. Divine, what other energies are present? Well, why everybody want to come back now, man? So we have Ferris wheel. So what goes up must come down. Interesting. We just had kite. Bad will pass. Good will come. Repeating cycles. Getting a higher view. So yeah, I do feel like the situation is coming full circle, is what I'm hearing. No good deed goes unpunished is also what I'm hearing. So I do feel like something is coming back around, this thing could be coming, karma, what goes around comes around, as the card says. So I do feel like something is getting ready to happen. Something's getting ready to spin the block. Someone is getting ready to spin the block. But a situation that has been up in the air, maybe you didn't have some form of clarity about it. I feel like you're about to receive some clarity. Maybe you've been waiting for this. Maybe you haven't. But something that has been up in the air, something that has been a redundant and a repetitive cycle is now coming to the light. Okay. This could be your turn, to get on the wheel, to get on this Ferris wheel. But for you, it's almost giving me wheel of fortune. It is giving me a sense of karma. It is giving me a sense of a cycle. But something's getting ready to come to an end with Ferris wheel. Although it's a complete circle, something is about to come to a circle to complete the circle, because something felt incomplete. Divine Ferris wheel. Okay, so we have goat. So sure-footedness, desire, reverie, Negative navigates. So something must be negative. Navigates hard places with ease, faith, creative energy, aspiration, tranquility. So this is most certainly giving me the energy of, things going well for you, while things may not be going so great for people on the opposite end of this. Maybe at one point in time you were in some form of struggle. You're now the GOAT, okay? The greatest of all time. And I feel like maybe people didn't know what type of person that you were, or that, the secrets that you really truly held, or who you really were. Because I feel like what is being discussed about you is a facade of you. It's not the real you. Because I feel like maybe when you were around these people, when you tried to express who you truly were, they weren't really feeling it, or they didn't subscribe to that type of person you were. They were low vibrational. They enjoyed you when you maybe gossip with them, or maybe when you were listening to their foolishness and their stories, and being around them, even though maybe you felt like they really truly didn't like you, or maybe felt like something was wrong. You could be on the end where you are really becoming who you are. You are becoming the greatest of all time to yourself, and you're not concerned about what anybody else would think about that. I do feel like there is an opportunistic energy that surrounds that as well, because people know. People know. There is not a lot of ignorance when it comes down to people who have the capability to do great things. I feel like people would just chose to ignore it. Like, they knew what was up and they chose to ignore it, because maybe they thought that you would eventually just give up, or you wouldn't go after your dreams, your goals, your desires, and your ambitions. Because I feel like a lot that people had to say was surrounding your character and what you maybe even wanted to do with your life. Maybe you wanted to do something that was quite outlandish to them, but if you had a dream about it, if you believed that you can do it, and it was tangible, you can do it, because you've seen other people do something like it. Maybe not quite like you, but you've seen people do something like it, and you were going after different types of opportunities. But regardless of whatever this is, you know how to navigate through this, just as you navigated through those terrible experiences concerning those people when they were talking about you behind your back, when you had to deal with all of the negativity that was coming from them to you, even though it was coming passively. Because I feel like none of these things were really directed towards you. Like, it wasn't a direct approach. It was very sidebar. It was very two-faced. Divine, last card for this energy with Ferris wheel and goat. Okay. So lastly, we have dog. So ability to devote yourself, excuse me, to your path. Happy, loyal, faithful friend, devoted. I do feel like you were all of these things, and it's very interesting. How you're being described in this moment, because I do feel like there was a loyalty, to you, that you were very loyal. I feel like even in the midst of chaos, you still remained present until you became a lost dog. Maybe you got, as a metaphor, maybe you got adopted somewhere else, or you ran away. And I feel like you just went to seek after your path. I feel like you became very devoted to yourself, just as the card says, and very devoted to your path and where you were going. This definitely was the correct approach for you, because you are the GOAT, as well as this loyal individual. And even if it's only loyalness to yourself, but for you, this is much more a happier place for you. Like, this works out for you. Like, this is where you belong, because you feel aligned with this is where you are putting your attention, this is where you're putting your focus, and you seem to be having success with that. I also feel like there's going to be this energy of individuals who are going to want to make up with you, because you are doing your thing, because they were wrong about you. And I feel like that's what individuals are getting ready to figure out, or that they have figured out. And that's the reason why they want to make up, because they were wrong about you. And it wasn't necessary to spread all of the lies and tell all of the stories that they began to tell. Okay? I feel like a lot of secrets are getting ready to be unraveled right before your eyes, especially if you've been in situation with friends, family, or romantic partners that landed you in a bad predicament or in bad spaces. I feel like you walked away and maybe you didn't have clarity or insight about this. I have a solution. Check out our sponsor, Psychic Source, to get all of the clarity and understanding that you need surrounding these particular situations. Use the link down below in the description box using my unique code JMarion, and you can get up to 40 minutes of clarity and insight for only $19.80. So plenty of time for you to focus on what matters to you the most. You get to pick and choose the advisor. And if you're not satisfied with the clarity and insight that you receive concerning these questions or insight, you can get your money back. So definitely free of risk for you. Okay. We are on your side when it comes down to this, and you should get the clarity that you need, especially when you didn't get it from other individuals. So check that link down below in the description box. And now, on to your reading. Divine, what is the direct message concerning Pisces today? Okay. So we have the Page of Wands. So what I'm hearing is planning and plotting. Planning and plotting. Divine, Page of Wands. And then we have the Queen of Cups. So I feel like somebody is taking a very careful approach as to what they are going to do in a particular situation. So we have the Hangman, okay? And I feel like somebody is taking a different perspective, a different approach to a situation. And this is definitely just the opposite of what was going on previously. I feel like somebody has been stuck, you know, for quite a while, stuck trying to figure out, should they say something? Should they apologize? Should they, just many different things when it's concerning you, because people were wrong about you. And I feel like with the Hangman and the Queen of Cups, somebody is getting that insight now, that insight that says you were wrong and you need to fix the situation. I also feel like the divine, in some sense, is causing someone to fix a situation, especially if this is someone who considers themselves a believer, you know, who follows the admonitions of God or whatever religious base that they follow. I feel like somebody is being called out. And whether this is something that you know about or not, I feel like the divine source, God, is giving somebody some time to plan out some form of execution to possibly make something right when it's concerning you. Now, when it does come down to this, I feel like in your own heart and in your own way, you have forgiven people of these situations without even having a conversation with them. But I do feel like you are going to receive some sort of penance in a way. Divine, what else is here? We have the Four of Pentacles. Yes. So somebody definitely is holding out on something. Somebody is holding out. They're holding back. You know, I feel like somebody has an awareness of what they need to do, but there's a hesitation here. And I can understand why there is a hesitation, especially if you are on the sour end of this situation. Like somebody it feels unnecessary. It feels unnecessary. It feels unwarranted. Do I feel like you receive some character development from it? Absolutely. And I feel like the character development that you receive from this has totally been to your benefit, but unfortunately it came with the backhand. Divine, what is the Four of Pentacles? What are they holding back? So we have the Moon. They're holding back on secrets. You know, they're holding back on hidden intentions, hidden motives, things that they've done in the dark. We even have the Five of Swords here. I feel like somebody's thoughts in their own way are getting the best of them. Their previous experiences are getting the best of them as well. It almost feels like torture or torment, and not in the sense of somebody being punished, but in the sense of bringing something to someone's forefront so that they can make good on something that they've done, because what they've done has absolutely nothing to do with you. It's not the truth. And even if it once again, even if it was some form of truth, it was gravely exaggerated. It feels gravely exaggerated. Like somebody thought that in some way that they were going to benefit off of the things that they were saying about you, and it's only landed them in an even worse predicament, because number one, I feel like they've lost a true individual, somebody who really was their friend. And I feel like this person was also surrounded by people who did not have their best interest at heart, and I feel like somebody is discovering that these people were not their friends and they invested in the wrong people. Divine, the Moon, concerning the Four of Pentacles. We have the Hermit. Yeah. So I feel like something that somebody has done has landed them in a position of being alone. And this person probably was used to being around a lot of people so that they could avoid situations, so that they didn't have to deal with themselves. Because I feel like a lot of what this person or these people were doing was totally outside of you, and they were always surrounded by people. This person heavily relied on other people, maybe as to not focus on their own issues and their own problems, because I feel like if people put as much effort, into themselves as they put into sabotaging other people, they would be so much further on in their lives. And I feel like that's the way this went. Maybe you also were going to be in a situation where you were always relying on people because of the type of friends or type of people you were around, and the divine has you offset to yourself now, and you've dealt with your issues as you continue to progress, and you can healing is a continued process, so you continue to do all of those things. But let's just say your tower moment, your dark night of the soul, those are things that you've already dealt with. I feel like this person now, their ego, and what they were doing is getting ready to get the best of them. We even have the Five of Wands. So Five of Swords, Five of Wands, giving me a Ten of Swords energy, Ten of Wands type of energy. Somebody is heavily overburdened by themselves, by their issues, by their problems. I feel like somebody also is looking for some sort of solution. They're looking for some sort of sign. They're looking for something that would get them in a better predicament. I feel like somebody is hearing exactly what they need to hear in order to fix the situation. But for some reason, once again, there is hesitation there. Divine Four of Pentacles. Okay, that was quick. Yeah, we have the Six of Pentacles. So you are in the process of getting ready to receive something. Once again, this could be like an apology. It's going to be like a conversation, because conversation feels very heavy. Like somebody wants to talk. Somebody wants to discuss some things, Divine, I feel like somebody will be taking action very soon. Very soon. Divine Six of Pentacles. And then we have the Knight of Wands. Very quick, fast action, like somebody without hesitation. Because I feel like somebody, is running out of time with the Knight of Swords, Six of Pentacles. Somebody's running out of time, or what they would consider a deadline, to get in contact with you. I feel like somebody is just going to have to do it because somebody's fears in some way are getting the best of them. And I feel like that's where the hesitation has come from. I feel like you have somebody nervous because you don't seem like you used to. Maybe you were in a way passive. Maybe in a way with the Queen of Cups, you were also understanding. Like, I feel like you could possibly have been in this energy where you were passive, and which is totally fine. You let people get away with things. I don't feel like you're that way anymore. And I feel like this is the thing that intimidates people, because I feel like people have been watching you. People have been viewing your social media. People have been viewing how more confident you've become, how out there, very adventurous, very bold. Like maybe your whole disposition has completely changed. And I feel like this intimidates somebody. Maybe you've exhibited some sort of anger online, which is totally fine, totally normal. It's an emotion. I feel like somebody saw you get riled up, and I feel like somebody could be intimidated by that, because maybe you were actually discussing this situation online and somebody got wind of that and they actually heard of that. And maybe that's also the reason why these people or this individual is wanting to come back to you, because they heard you online and they saw how affected you were, and they knew it, they were convicted. So there seems to be some form of conviction here. Like somebody may have been convicted in their soul by, maybe the things that you've expressed and what you had to go through in order to come out of those situations. And somebody is in guilt, like heavy regret concerning that. Divine Knight of Swords. And we have the Temperance. Yeah, somebody is wanting to, balance something out again, recorrect something, because I feel like somebody there was a mistake here. And I feel like somebody is wanting to fix that. They're wanting to correct those mistakes, and they're wanting to, I feel like somebody is looking for some form of forgiveness with this Temperance, because that's what it's giving me. It's giving me some form of forgiveness, wanting to change a situation around. But I feel like with whatever happens with this person is in total control of how this plays out. And I feel like even at the first sign of disrespect, at the first sign of inauthentic, of somebody not being as authentic as they should be, like, I feel like you will remove yourself from the situation, because maybe somebody has changed, maybe they haven't, because this temperance is also giving me that to some sense of change, or somebody may still remain the same. Divine, clarify the temperance here. Yeah. So we have the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah. Somebody is most certainly wanting to correct something, rebuild, reestablish, change the dynamic is what I'm feeling. It's more so changing the dynamic. Because with the Ten of Pentacles, there was a sense of community in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But I feel like when there was some form of maturing, that happened with these relationships. But I feel like with this maturing, other people got involved. There many different people got involved, and I feel like somebody showed their ass. is what I'm feeling like. Somebody showed their ass, and it's like, why are you showing out? Like, this isn't like, it just remains. It seemed like a far departure from who this person really was, or maybe you saw somebody for who they truly were, and you thought you saw somebody for who they were, but it was only your perception of it. Divine, Ten of Pentacles. We have the World. So something is most certainly coming full circle. I don't feel like there would be some form of reconciliation. I feel like individuals are just wanting to work. I feel like they want to work on rebuilding and reestablishing something. But I feel like for you, this is just going to be one of those situations where forgiveness will be publicly presented or physically presented this time, and you're still going to go about your business. Divine, possible outcome. We have the Seven of Swords. I feel like it remains unknown, because I feel like for some reason it feels like this could go any way, is what this is giving me with the Seven of Swords, which is why it's giving me a hidden type of energy, because it can go either way. Because maybe you will go to a situation with a certain mindset, and I feel like that mindset can be changed with the conversation. So I feel like with the conversation and how this may go, and it's going to be predicated on what's said, because once again, I feel like you could have your mind made up, but I do feel like that could quickly change. Queen of Swords. You have your mind made up with the Queen of Swords, but I do feel like there could be some change with that. Divine, can I have one for the Seven of Swords? Yeah, we have the Page of Swords. I feel like it can definitely change with the information or what's being spoken when it's said. It can definitely change, because I feel like with the Page of Swords, you're also going to discover something new in the situation, discovering the reason why. Because I feel like there's more so this energy of you wanting to go to possibly hear somebody out, hear what they have to say, and then you decide what you want to do with that moving forward. I would say it's leaning more so on the side of you cutting all ties and just going about your business. But I do feel like there possibly is an opportunity for you all to reconcile with. I'm feeling more friends than anything else. It's possible, even though we say one thing where we're like, okay, I don't want to be involved with anybody. I don't want anything to do with previous energies, because of how things have grown and how they become, and it was completely unnecessary. But I do feel like with the information that you do receive from this sit down, this conversation, you will decide from that point moving forward. So I feel like in this moment, the outcome is totally up to you. Okay. Pisces Soul Tribe, that was your reading. Hopefully this message resonates with you in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and you're able to take something from it that you could use. Of course, if there's anything you need from me, you can find those details down below in the description box. And as always, my good people, remember to conquer this day, and I'll see you on the network. Bye, guys.